All right, guys. Hey, welcome back to the Sagey Bard podcast. Guys, today we're doing something a little bit different. We are going to start doing reviews. We realize, hey, there's a lot of great content coming online, and we want to give you our perspective. So on the Sagey Bard podcast, as usual, we health, wealth, business, finance, and social issues. Okay, and today we're going to be doing some reviews. So this first review we're doing, this reaction, we're going to be reacting to Russel Brand. You guys know who Russel Brand is? Russel Brand, we're going to be reacting to his so-called rape allegation. Put that there.
So for those of you who don't remember Russel Brand was married to Katy Perry for a couple of years, back 2010 to about 2012. And he's also famous for Forgetting Sarah Marshall and a bunch of really ridiculous humor.
I haven't seen that movie. I haven't seen any of his movies. I'm not even really, to be honest, I'm not even a fan. But let's take a look. We're going to look at our.
I honestly did not like him for a long time, but I've grown to become more of a fan of his based on what he's said in terms of political thought and his observations on the world, because I actually agree with a lot of what I found that I've come to agree with a lot of what he's said.
I think he's broken away from what they call the matrix, the lie. It's honestly just a bunch of lies that powerful people try to force us to believe using media. A lot of it's becoming so obvious now. It's like, how do you, no rational person would believe some of these lies. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a look at who is Russel Brand. We've got some screenshots here. This is his YouTube page. So I think getting to know someone, a good way to get to know someone is by looking at their YouTube page. Oh, that one doesn't blow up. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so a good way to get to know someone is by looking at their YouTube page. So here we have, as you can see, proof we're headed towards a cashless society. That's, if you guys have been following central bank digital currencies, which is pretty mainstream. The President Biden has talked about having the Federal Reserve investigate, creating a digital currency. So this isn't, but what is the purpose of this, and then Tucker Carlson just flipped the January 6th narrative. Mainstream media, blue pill, the lies, rich, powerful people, politicians, business people who tend to want to control us. They have a different narrative, typically, that, and some people find that narrative comforting, but it's honestly, a lot of it's just lies to enrich them and to make them more powerful.
Well, I think a lot of what his videos have been about recently is basically opening your eyes to see what the world really is looking like. And unfortunately, that to a lot of people, that appears to be a conspiracy theory.
Right.
Sadly, there's a lot of evidence for what he's saying.
Yeah, I mean, don't get us wrong. There are legitimate conspiracy theories, but for the most part, people are becoming pretty savvy, and they're able to see, well, wow, you're just calling things conspiracies that you don't want people to know about or to talk about.
For example, the Mexican aliens, that was probably a conspiracy. I think that they actually found out that some of them were made out of llama heads that were or skulls that were filed down. There are people out there doing some pretty ridiculous things. So I'm going to play this video. This is a little, kind of a screen grab of some of Russel Brand he's an actor. We're going to go through his Wikipedia page here in a little bit, but he's an actor. And now he's become super active on YouTube, and he actually has a Rumble page too. We're going to show you that as well. He's got 6.5 million YouTube subscribers and over 1 million on Rumble, which there aren't many people on Rumble.
There aren't many people on Rumble, but he's got a million of them.
Yeah, exactly.
1.6 million. So put it this way: if he wasn't rich already in acting, he's rich off of YouTube.
Yeah,
6 million subs, and you're putting out content. You're wealthy. He's making well over 100,000 a month, easy. So if not more. So let me play this video here. You can kind of see, okay, yours is moving too. So he's got, Trump just said something about, I won't say that word. We don't say that word because that gets flagged. They knew it was a lie all along. It's at the top of the screen. There's a lot of, when you look at his page, as you look at these titles, this is what people would call red pill.
Yeah. And he's talking about young people who are dying at very alarming rates. I mean, with heart issues, athletes that are dying, and well, they shouldn't be dying. And they have, for most of human history, not died until very recently.
Yeah. So a lot of these are sort of topics that people want to hear about, but the mainstream media, which, if people don't know, is corporate owned. It's owned by corporate. It's in and of itself is a corporation, but it's bought through advertising dollars by other corporations, primarily those who make pharmaceuticals. Yeah. Let's look at that. Look at that. So, all right, enough of that. You guys kind of get the idea with that. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at his Wikipedia page real quick, and then we'll take a look at his.
Yeah, basically, he was born in 1975 in England, so he's a British citizen,
right?
And he's an only child. His parents got divorced when he was relatively young, or separated.
Looks like he used to do stand up part of his career, as you can see. That video, so the videos we pre-recorded this video, kind of get to the good stuff. We wanted to see. Oftentimes what happens is once people start to change their narrative politically, Wikipedia tends to be a place where they start to label them. And, Wikipedia used to be a place where you could, let me pause it on this. Wikipedia used to be a source that you could edit. Now what happens is you probably still can't edit it, but sometimes what happens is the staff at Wikipedia is turned into propaganda, let's be honest. It's turned into a form of propaganda. So that supports.
You have a bunch of fact checkers, and you have to get everything reviewed.
Right, which on the surface level doesn't sound bad. It sounds actually normal. You would want to review content that's out there for the world, because you would do that with an encyclopedia, right?
Yeah,
which is what people have done, historically with anything, books. You have editors and stuff, but Wikipedia has a political slant now. I'm not sure if it's because of the owners of Wikipedia. I'm not sure exactly why, but Wikipedia, in a way, is kind of owned now.
Well, Bart, to go along with what you're saying, the first time I noticed this was when I was reading a biography on Wikipedia of Gavin Newsom. Prior to him becoming elected governor of California, it said that he had been so poor growing up that he didn't have Christmas gifts. And this is from a guy whose father was an attorney for John Paul Getty. Does that seem like it makes sense?
Sure doesn't.
And then after he became governor, they actually took out that portion of the Wikipedia article because, probably wasn't true. But if someone had read that before, it makes you think of him as a common man.
Right.
As opposed to having grown up with a very well-connected family.
Let me give you guys an example of how they use the web. They'll literally edit stuff and remove stuff on the fly. See, the beauty of having a newspaper or a magazine, once it's printed, you have it. It's yours. You have that copy. There was an instance where when they were ramping up and doing Obamacare, where I don't know if you remember when they said it was free. You remember that? I don't know if you remember that.
Well, you can keep your physician as well.
If you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor. Didn't turn out to be real, but there was something interesting, and it actually ran on the Drudge Report. They showed how and there's still websites, guys, research this. Go online. I don't care what your political position is. I don't really have a dog in that fight because I don't believe in any of those two parties. Once again, 2016 voted Green Party. But what I want you to do is look at Google Obamacare website changing before and after election. Before the election, it said Obamacare free, right? I saw the screenshots. There was a whole website. There's a website. After the election, after he got put in, guess what? They removed the free part. They removed the free part. Really fascinating. So that's how they use the internet, and that's how they edit things on the fly. And oh, we never said that. What are you talking about? Go to our website. Well, you changed it. And they do this with lots of things, because there was a story, I won't even mention this, but it was very controversial. Big Pharma, let's say Big Pharma, you know, the products they make that were there, it's inside a syringe. So there was some story about that, and it was interesting because the
something that comes out of a syringe could hurt you.
Oh, of course. So they did a story on this, and I think her name was the wife of Dr. Mercola. I think her name is Erin Mercola. Her Facebook page got deleted, by the way, during COVID, because she was. Lots of people got deleted their pages, and they got their lives deleted as well, or should I say unalived? That's the new term, unalived.
Well, in terms of being unalived, that is exactly what is the beginning of what we see happening to Russell Brand.
Russell Brand.
And it's the same thing that was attempted by the media and
You might be
powers
nice.
that be with Andrew Tate and other people.
Yep, we're gonna get into that. So let's look at this real quick. So what I was gonna say is Erin Mercola, Dr. Mercola's wife, did a video where she had her camera and she was doing a screenshot, kind of like what we're doing now, where we're showing you our screen. She recorded an article that was online. I had the video, I posted it. I remember I posted it on Facebook, and then I remember someone telling me that's not the case. The article doesn't say that. I went back to the video, screenshotted the video and highlighted it. And then I looked, they had deleted an entire section of the article. So, but the good thing is she had already done a video showing where it was.
Yep.
So this is how they play the game, guys, with online. It's you know, that power is typically to, if you make an honest mistake, like a typo or something, or something's not true, yeah, you have the power to go in and change it. But when you're changing things to create a narrative or to appease some power or some business, I think that's a problem. All right, political activism for Russell Brand. 2009 and 2012, Brand participated in a celebrity letter to the Independent as a supporter of the Hoping Foundation to condemn Israel's assault on Gaza. Okay. Let's move on. There's more. Let's go down. There's another section from 2012, I think during the COVID era, which I think we're going to still be in.
Well, honestly, he was kind of a little less politically involved during those years. He was married to Katy Perry, who is definitely on a different side of the spectrum, at least today, than Russell Brand is.
Oh yeah, she's totally different. So this part of the article is talking about him basically being a bad boy.
Well, he also highlighted how the Gestapo, Nazi officers used to use Hugo Boss designs or uniforms,
which is pretty crazy considering Hugo Boss. I remember they were kind of caught up in a controversy a few years ago, something to do with race, something on race and racism, which makes sense if you're supporting Gestapo.
And he was he became a little bit famous for goose stepping across the stage.
That's right.
Time.
So, I mean, what we're doing right now is we're getting to know Russell Brand. Obviously, we're going to get into the rape allegations here in a second, but we want you guys to kind of know who he is. This is his backstory. This is who he is. He's British, born to two British parents. All right, so 2014
he used a lot of drugs when he was younger.
He used a lot of drugs.
And he talks about it.
And we're going to get into an interesting video because, like everyone who's accused of rape, they obviously defend themselves. And this is going somewhere, and we have a point to make about this.
What's really interesting, when we get to that, is this has happened. Something similar has happened to other people that have gone against the establishment in the same way. They've faced similar criticisms in terms of rape allegations, because that is we live in the Me Too movement.
Believe all women.
Unfortunately, we're kind of moving to something a little bit more rational, hopefully. But it's the same template that's used. There's no creativity.
Same template.
I mean,
because it's easy. We're gonna get into that though. We're gonna get into the template here. Oh, you can't adjust that one. Yeah, okay. So, oh wait, mouse. Just go full screen. Okay. So here we go. Here's his all right, so here we are, full screen on his 2020 to present, COVID-19 pandemic and stay free. All right, during COVID-19 pandemic, brands YouTube channel underwent an increase in activity. Ooh, okay, interesting. And change in political direction. Oh, wow. Wikipedia sounds scared now. And was accused of promoting COVID-19 denialism. Ooh, sounds very academic. And conspiracy theories. There we go. That's what we wanted to see. Typically what happens, guys, is when anyone, like for instance, let's say someone in government tells a flat out lie, right? Doesn't matter what side of the aisle. It could be Dem, it could be Republican, it could be anyone. If they lie, they lie. And we as the public, we have a right to truth, right? We have these public officials should be held to truth. So it doesn't make someone a conspiracy theorist for reading documents directly from government agencies that talk about certain things. That's
and
not,
coming to their own conclusions.
and thinking for yourself. Yeah. That doesn't make you a conspiracy theorist, guys. That makes you a thinker. Now, I think there is a fine line between critical thinker and conspiracy theorists. There are people, for instance, I think conspiracy theorists are people who think the world is flat and somehow the government's trying to hide that from them. But we have satellites which fall. If you understand how satellites work, there's no way the world is flat. Oh, but they say those are on balloons. Okay. That's why we can see them streaking across the sky. There's video of Elon Musk's Starlink streaking across the sky. A balloon, right? Just, those are conspiracy theorists. Those are true conspiracy theorists. Anyway, you're gonna say?
If you look up and you see that the moon is round and the sun is round and other planets are round, then
but we're flat.
It would stand up.
We're flat though. I believe all women.
Yeah.
I'm transgender. Believe all women, okay?
Stands to make sense that the earth is also round.
That's hate. That's hate speech.
It will be one day.
Yeah, it's hate speech. Okay, so now, guys, he's a conspiracy theorist now because he didn't believe in the COVID narrative, which a lot of it was nonsense. We're not going to get into all of that right now, but they're finding out a lot of the things. And what they're doing is they're kind of like, oh yeah, we made a mistake. Sorry. But you've already labeled him a conspiracy theorist.
Yep.
And you can edit Wikipedia, but you're not. So.
Well, you can ruin someone's life and have just made a mistake.
It's more fun that way.
Anyways, let's jump into the video.
Okay, all right. So let's get into some of his here. Let's see this exit screen real quick. Oh, we have let's take a quick look. Well, his Rumble page. Okay. Let me just add this to the stage real quick. Let me bring up his Rumble page. We'll just kind of briefly talk about this. His Rumble page, we'll look at this for a little bit. Rumble, if you guys know about Rumble was created in protest to YouTube censorship, okay, and Facebook censorship. Rumble was created in protest. It's a protest website, and it's owned by people who were on the right.
Well,
John Bongino is part owner, I believe, of Rumble.
Well, it was created because you had a whole bunch of election manipulation in terms of information that might have made a difference, and that goes for the right and the left, But
yeah, both sides. Yeah, so it was created. It basically was created for truth, right? So people, anytime you try to
creative
censor
free speech,
right? Anytime you try to censor someone, especially in a society where free speech is one of the pillars of our, people are going to create different platforms to talk. It's our right to talk. All right, so that's his Rumble. You can take a look and see. He's anti-establishment, which is fine. It's good to think on your own. Is everything he says correct? Who knows? I don't know. I don't watch him, but
it may not be. Is everything that's on the news correct? Probably not either. You know, some is, some isn't, some are lies. All right, let's take a look at this. Okay, let's pause. We'll pause it. So Brand had earlier posted a preemptive video denying the allegations on YouTube without mentioning the outlets by name. All right, so we're going to get into this. He's actually going to speak. We'll get to it here in a second. This video is really short.
As I've written about it
okay, so let's listen to this.
extensively in my books, I was very, very promiscuous. Now, during that time of promiscuity, the relationships I had were absolutely always consensual. I was always transparent about that then, almost too transparent. And I'm being transparent about it now as well. And to see that transparency metastasized into something criminal that I absolutely deny makes me question, is there another agenda at play?
There is another agenda.
I think you're onto something. I think you're onto something, Russell.
You might have used a lot of drugs, but you're on the right path now.
You're on the right path.
And you can even see that because now Katy Perry's come out and said that he was very controlling.
All of a sudden,
emotionally abusive towards her.
Interesting. You know, those are all crimes, right? By the way, being controlling, that's a crime, right?
Those are.
How much is that, a felony or misdemeanor?
Yeah, but it was all stuff that was relatively quiet for the last 12 years that they haven't been married.
Yeah, all of a sudden it's relevant. He was controlling. He beat me at Monopoly once. I didn't like that very much. So let's get into what we see as some of the comparisons. Okay, so obviously right off the bat, he's defending himself.
Mm-hmm.
He's using the fact that hey, I was pretty transparent with my books. I was a hoe. I was a male hoe.
Yep.
Or let's use the more technical term, I was promiscuous. And I was very obvious about that. Now, does Russell? Now you don't think he's a good-looking person at all, but I don't see him as a rapist. I think guys who are wealthy and tall, he's 6'1.5", who I think even if he wasn't great looking, I don't think he'd have any problem dating.
Well, he's rich.
He's rich. And it's literally all it takes. So does rape, no, anyone can rape anyone, right? Let's just say that. And the thing
is, no one can tell what a rapist looks like. So, he might or might not look like a rapist. I mean, a rapist is just any other person walking down the street. You can't tell.
You really can't tell.
But the point is, why is it taking this long for these allegations to pop up? And it's the same thing if you look at someone like, I don't know, Andrew Tate, who also has the resources to get whatever they want, and women find them, both Russell Brand and Andrew Tate, attractive, but suddenly they're accused of rape, and then you get locked up or whatever might happen here in Russell Brand's case.
Now,
I think that he's trying to jump the gun with his 6 million YouTube followers and 1 million Rumble followers and say, hey,
trying to preempt it.
Yeah, this is not me. In fact, I've always been completely transparent. I am a male hoe and I'm a drug user. And
believe all women. Except those women.
Yeah, except the ones accusing me now.
Okay, so let's talk about Andrew Tate really quick. This is from the BBC. Controversial influencer Andrew Tate has been charged in Romania with rape, human trafficking, and forming an organized crime group to sexually exploit women. Okay, so he was charged with rape as well. Now, interesting, we don't have the video for Andrew Tate, but once again, what's the common denominator?
He came out against the establishment.
Came out against the establishment hard too. This guy, super red pill, okay?
And by us saying anything about Andrew Tate doesn't mean that we support him or his views. I actually find him a very repugnant human being. And
we have a video coming on him, by the way. We're gonna do a video. We should do that next. We're gonna do a review on Andrew Tate. I think that would be fair. It's kind of good for people to know where we stand, right?
Yeah.
I think we actually on the way we went to the store, we came back, and on the way we had a conversation about Andrew Tate. We aligned. We think Andrew Tate is in some ways, you know what? You're going to have to wait for the video to find out. But anyway, so Andrew Tate had similar accusations. And guess what? Is he in prison now?
Well, he's out again.
He's out. But did they actually?
They found nothing on him.
They found nothing. After how many months?
They locked him up for a long time.
4 months in prison.
Yeah.
He's on house arrest now.
And there's going to be a significant portion of the population that always views him as a rapist. It's one thing to not like what someone's saying. Mm-hmm. It's another thing to look and say, hey, that guy might be a rapist, you know?
Now, did Andrew Tate not follow the same trajectory as what Russell Brand is doing? Did he not come out preemptively against the allegations, get on video, take interviews?
Yeah.
Was he not doing interviews from home? Was he not? Same thing, trying to defend himself, right? So here we go, kind of the same situation. Now, another person, who else is similar? We have a very, very famous person with WikiLeaks. We have Julian Assange.
Yep.
Julian Assange, how many years was WikiLeaks out before he hit a nerve with the establishment? He posted a video and all these documents. I mean, it was damning. He showed all these journalists being murdered by an Apache helicopter, which, you know, shot them from like half mile away or whatever. Showed them all being murdered. The government tried to cover it up. You know, the video was leaked to WikiLeaks. Or maybe he stole it. Who knows? Or maybe he coerced.
What the thing is, just going back here, for those of you who don't know, Julian Assange and Edward Snowden, they're all kind of put together. And ultimately, in terms of the foundations of our nation, these people are heroes. They exposed government overstepping its rights and government surveilling its citizens without them knowing and for no reason.
That's right.
Those people are heroes.
They are.
According to a founding father's idea or conception of what liberty and freedom was.
Mm-hmm.
That is not what our country is today. And we should be taking steps to get back in that direction.
Definitely, definitely. You know, Julian Assange, just kind of going back, after he released all this stuff, immediately, all of a sudden, there was a rape accusation.
Yeah.
You guys remember that? It was a woman in Sweden or Switzerland. He came out and was like, this was consensual. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Same story, guys. Guys, there is a, like Seiji was saying, there's a template. There is a template. And there's a reason why we believe they use rape allegations. Why do you think that is? You were giving us some reasons.
Well, it's the easiest way of discrediting someone, especially in this era, where you can,
right?
Especially when one side is able to control and manipulate the media at will, and get as much airtime. So if you say it enough times, it becomes the truth.
It becomes the truth. So we just gave you three very prominent people. Edward Snowden didn't get charged with it. He didn't get a rape charge, which is interesting. Maybe they'll find something here pretty soon. But, you know, once again, let's just clear this up. We're about to wrap up here, our coverage on this story. Guys, go ahead and please give us a like. You know, likes are free. Definitely subscribe. We have a lot more coming. We're going to be covering some good stuff. If you like the way we analyze stories, go ahead and like. We have a lot more coming. And definitely subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000. Help us get to our goal. Share and definitely comment. Let us know how you feel. We respond to comments, guys. Unlike other people, we respond to comments. So I'm Bard. This is Seiji. Just to kind of recap, we are not Andrew Tate fans, but we do sort of, you know, some of what he says is true. And
we're really not Russell Brand fans either, you know.
I don't care for Russell Brand. To be honest, his voice is annoying. His accent's annoying.
Horrible.
His fashion choices are hideous. Not that I really care about fashion like that, like I'm some kind of fashionista, but it is hideous. You know, like I really don't care what people are wearing until they wear something that he wears. Like he looks like a pirate sometimes. It's like, what are you wearing, man? When it comes to rape, it's a serious allegation. And yes, you should listen to all women. You should investigate when there's an accusation. But I don't believe in believing all women right off the bat. I believe in definitely listening, giving them an air, and seeing if it's true or not. Because we have people like Carly Russell.
I believe you should listen to all people.
Listen to all people, yeah. And you know, I mentioned it within the context of rape because, you know, men get raped too. It's never reported. But I remember calling the police department and getting some statistics on rape just here in Riverside. And it happens. But you know, a lot of times it goes unreported because the guys are ashamed or, you know, or for whatever reason. But anyway, guys, we done? We wrapping up?
All right, that's it, guys. Sage Bar Podcast, and as always, we will see you in the next one. Thank you.
Thank you.